So, since my last bonus drawing went so freaking well, I believe that was the last live video I did, was the rainbow bonus drawing video. I'm going to make a couple more Sherlocks for another bonus drawing because that one sold out in less than 20 hours. So, we're going to do that again. This time I'm going to make 2 though, instead of just having 1 for the winner. I'm going to start with this rainbow sparkle blue crazy gorgeous. So I already prepped the shape for the Sherlock because that's kind of the boring part. Got the mouthpiece, this center part will be the sag part, and then the bowl part is up top. I'm just going to heat up the whole thing really quick since it was in the annealer. The annealer's at 1100 degrees, but the fire is much hotter. So I'm going to put a handle on this side, and then I'll be able to do that big sag in the center, make it look like a Sherlock. One of my favorite things to do with glass is let it droop. I got a handle. I'm just going to get the middle really hot. Not so hot where it closes up on itself, but hot enough where I'm going to get a nice Sherlock shape. So I'm just getting the center really hot. Really close. It's a big Sherlock. I gotta make sure all the heat is even. 3, 2. Oh, fuck it, let's go. Now you don't look. That was a lot of heat. It is a big Sherlock. I like the shape. So that handle I attached on the very top should just pop off with some. Nope. I might have. There we go. Got a little too hot when I attached it, but there's the Sherlock so far. It's huge. So I'm going to pick off this clear stuff at the top and then pop a hole and push the bowl. Hey, thank you, thank you. That turned out really cool. So I'm going to pick that crap off the top that that rod left. And then I'm just going to get one spot really hot, give it a puff up, and then I'll pop the hole for the bowl. Oh, I love how centered the swirl is. I don't know if you can see it, now it's too hot. The swirl of color is perfectly centered where I'm going to pop the hole. I love when that happens. Alright, I gave that little mountain. And now we've got a hole. So I'm just going to circle around that hole with a really sharp flame until it's the perfect heat, and I'll push the bowl. Hey, hey, hey. Cigarette holder? Yes. No, don't smoke cigarettes. I only say that from past experience. So just circling around that hole I just popped. And I want to switch hands when I'm doing this because the glass starts to get so hot that it starts moving like a liquid. And I don't want it to be way on one side or way on the other. I want to keep it nice and centered where I have it. So I'll just keep switching sides until I got the perfect heat. And then right before I go to push the bowl, I'm going to give it a little puff to solidify the size of that hole so it doesn't get any bigger or smaller when I push it. Push. Push. Nailed it. Not too bad. So because that graphite rod is so cold compared to the hot glass, you get all these funky lines. So I'm just going to blast those lines out with a sharp flame. And if that bowl hole got too big, you can shoot the flame into the hole and it'll shrink up. If it's too small, you can get it hot and ream it out with a tungsten tip. If you close the bowl hole, you're stuck. You gotta pull it out and re-push it. If it's off center, which mine kind of is now that I'm doing all this shit, you can just take your rod and pull it back on center, wherever it needs to be. So next I'm going to pop the choke. Do you want the choke to be on the left side or the right side? Let me know. It doesn't matter because it's not a custom, it's going to be for a drawing, so. Left or right? That's very nice. I'll take it. And my girlfriend. What about your girlfriend? Do those work on THC disposable? I'm not sure what that means. Choke on the left side or right side? Anybody got an opinion, or I'm just gonna pick? I gotta heat it up though while you're thinking. Is anybody out there? I'm gonna heat up both sides just in case. Anybody care? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Left. Nice. So I'm going to heat up a bigger spot than I did with the bowl hole on the left side. And I'm going to puff it up. I need to clog that bowl hole when I puff it up. And then I'll pop it out in a fluffy flame. Clog the bowl hole. Make it a little mountain. And then I'll get a nice big fluffy flame going. Clog it again. Now the reason I squatted down, I want it to be lower than the handle. Because if I'm going like this with the handle too much, there's so much condensation in there that water, my spit, could get into the pipe and then it cracks and then it's not usable. So I like to get lower so the handle's down when I pop out the choke. If anybody cares, if anybody's blowing glass, that's why. I'm just going to flatten the choke. Oh, that's wrong. Do that. Flatten it and round it out. This is a really good pop. I don't have to do much with that one. I've got one more prepped Sherlock in the annealer heating up that I'm going to take out. It is black and red, so I figure I've done a lot of rainbow stuff lately. I'll do something a little bit different. So this is going to go back in that black box. And then I got another one. I'm going to have a sip of water really quick. I've got another one heating up in there. It's sitting at, it's at 1070 right now, but it's set at 1100 degrees, so I can work on things, put them back, heat them up, work on things. It's very nice for production. Unlike soft glass, where you're pretty much just get that one shot to work on it. Not all the time, but. Okay, got another freaking giant. This is just a Kevlar glove that I'm wiping all the kiln dust off. And then I'm going to heat up the whole thing and attach the handle, just like before. So like I said in the beginning, I did a bonus drawing with that last live video, Rainbow Sherlock, and it sold out in like 20 hours. So this bonus drawing, whoever wins is going to have the option of the rainbow one I'm making in the beginning, or this red and black rainbow one. Red, black, white, clear. It's so big. It's fucking huge. So same thing as the last one. I'm going to get the center really hot and shake it into a Sherlock shape. So just that middle part. So the last color was purchased through Golden Gate Glassworks, and this color was purchased through Colorado Color Company. I love both of the companies. They create wonderful prepped line tubing. Alright, we're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that always makes me nervous. I don't know why I stuck it in there one more time to have it. Please. Woo. And I like to look down the mouthpiece into the bowl to make sure it stays lined up while it cools down. Sherlock number 2. Yes, my forearm is on fire. Alright, I think it's solid enough. I should be able to give that a tap. Oh wow, we call that a devil's finger nail. Oof, don't want a part of that. Take that off. For some reason, I feel like when glass shatters when it's hot, it is so much sharper. I don't know why. Maybe it is. I don't know. Science. Alright, I got that little blob off. And the glass. The very center of this, give it a little puff up. It's kind of thick up there right now. Switching sides so it doesn't go on one side or the other. I want to keep it in the middle. The hole's a little bit too big. big right now, but when I go to circle around it with the flame, I can shrink it up before I push the bowl. Exactly what are you fabricating? It is a borosilicate glass Sherlock. It's the second one I'm making. So time to push the bowl. So same thing, want to switch hands so it doesn't lean to one side or the other. I want to keep it on center. And it's super heavy. Usually the stuff I'm making is like 4 inches long, so. Whew, my wrist hurts. And if the hole shrinks up too much when you're going around in a circle like this, you can always just puff it back out in the flame. Not a big deal. And the red is very dark. When it's hot, it almost looks brown, but it'll be a nice vibrant red when it is not 1,000 degrees. Right before I go to push it, just like the last one, I'm going to give it a puff. Make sure that hole stays the size I want it. It's too small. I could have just pushed it, but I don't want it to be that small. And then I'm going to have to fix it. I might as well fix it right now before the push. It's easier than fixing it after the push. That's alright. I'll just do it again. Definitely more frustrating to have it too small when the bowl's already pushed, so I learned my lesson on that. Alright, we're almost back to where we were. Much better size. I got a lot of lines on that, but I'll just blast them out. You'll start to see the red pop out in the mouthpiece more because that's cooling down. It'll be a lot darker up here because it's so hot. So just blasting out all those funky lines I got from the bowl push. I'm going to put the choke on the left again, I think, because you'll be able to choose from the two pipes, and I feel like the choke should be on the same side. I don't know why. So we'll do the same side as the other one. Left side. I don't know if it's mirrored backwards to you guys, but in real life, I'm on the left side if it's not looking like it on there. So I'm going to give it a puff up into a little mountain before I pop the hole. Got a little mountain there. Fluffy flame. Make sure that pops in the flame or you're going to be dealing with some wispy glass that you don't want to deal with. Flatten it. Sometimes they whistle. We got a whistler. That's all she wrote so far on this one. I'm going to pull back that first one out that is warming up in the annealer after I make a honeycomb kickstand for it. both of these are going to get honeycomb kickstands. So pop this back. It's 1100 degrees, like I said before. And then if you missed this one in the beginning, this is what I'm going to make the kickstand for. Rainbow sparkle blue awesomeness. Also, the colors look different because it's over 1,000 degrees right now. They'll be a lot brighter rainbow. Do I have an example? Hold on. So here's that first Sherlock. That's the coloring on it. Much brighter when it's not 1,000 degrees. Alright, so what color should... Blue? Well, I'm gonna use this. Got like a blue and white spotted color. I'm gonna pick up a piece of honeycomb. Here, I'll show you. I also got this prep from Colorado Color Company. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. Honeycomb. Well, you can kind of see it. So they're heating up on my little 90-degree pad right here. I like to put them there so they do heat up. I don't have to hit them with the torch or anything. I can just heat up my rod, pick it up, and then encase it with clear. And I'll show you how that works right now. I might use slime glue too. I might use multiple glues. Sorry, I just searched how to glue. I chugged a bunch of water before I started. It's a wee bit warm in here. Oh, I didn't turn this on. That's over 85 degrees. Not too bad. Not too bad for summertime. So I'm getting a blob hot. And then I've got that piece of honeycomb cane. Pick it up. And you probably more carefully introduce it into the flame, but we're good. Sometimes they blow up. Didn't blow up. There's a honeycomb design on there. It's really hard to see. Okay. Hey, you can kind of see it. So now I'm going to take a clear rod and encase that design in a clear bubble pretty much. Not a bubble, but just casing. And I want this, there's no bubbles in there. So I just took off the end to make it nice and clean. I want to keep this hot as I'm melting down a big blob of clear to put over the top. So as long as this has some color, we're good to go. So just melting it down. I have my rod angled up so it creates like a nice little marble on top. And then the marble just keeps getting bigger until I like the size, and then I'll stick it on the front of it. And then no need to push it on yet. You're just going to cut off that clear rod, take whatever clear glass you don't want on top. I like to taper it up and get it ready for a punchy because I'm going to need that next. But I just want to melt all that clear glass that's sitting on top down over that honeycomb piece. Ow. I got a piece of glass in my hand. If I had a penny for every time I got poked by glass, I would be on the beach right now. So I'm just focusing it on that clear and letting it run over the top of the honeycomb. And then once it hits the blue, I don't want to see that line. I want like a seamless seam. There we go. Everybody's one now. So everybody's happy in one blob. It's hard to see what's what, but we got the blue on the bottom, the honeycomb in the middle, and then a clear casing on top. And eventually, you'll see the honeycomb. God, that's cool. So you can see how the clear glass kind of magnified it, made it look bigger than it actually is. I like it a lot. Alright, so now I'm going to punchy it up. So I don't want these to be together, but I just want like a soft handle so it'll knock off later with any vibration. And then I think I'm going to put I'm going to do some turquoise and blue slime so this is not all one color. So I'll just cut off a blob of that. I'm going to do some of this turquoise, and then I think I'm going to do blue slime. I don't see it. Blue slime. So I'm just rounding out. I got like a weird doodah going on. I want that to be a lot more round and symmetrical. And then I'll put some turquoise on. And then I'm going to add some blue slime. And then we're going to put it on the Sherlock as a kickstand. And if you don't know what that means, it just means the Sherlock, when you're using it, you have to set it down and it'll lay on its side and then your bowl might spill out. So I like to put a little knob on the side where your bowl will still be right with gravity. That was a weird way of saying it, but that makes sense. Alright. Much more even. I'm going to get that turquoise color on there next. And it's a giant Sherlock, so I want to make this maybe an inch and a half long, at least an inch long. I'm going to have it taper in on itself where it's connected. It's not going to be as wide as that top lens. It's going to taper down and down into the Sherlock. Otherwise, that's just too much. That's just too much of a fat kickstand. I'm going to feed a little bit more of this on. And then I'm going to cut it off in the flame. Shape it up again. And we'll put blue on there next. Blue slime. I'm going to have to stretch this out at the end. It's getting too fat. But here we got so far. You can see the clear lens where the honeycomb is. And then I've got that blue and white. And then the turquoise. Falling off center. I'm just trying to get it back on center. And then blue slime. Since it's a new rod and it's cut up top, I just want to pull off that cut part because it typically will create some bubbles. And this is nice. I don't want any bubbles in it. So now it's peeled off into a clean piece. I can feed it on to my kickstand. So I'm just getting it hot and pushing it on. I don't want to get my already made part too hot, but I want to keep the fire on the new color that I'm putting on. Alright, it's too fat. I'm going to get it hot on this one end and try to taper it down. There's no need to be that thick. That's more of the shape I was thinking. Much better. Alright, I'm going to cut this off, shape it up, and we're going to put it on the big old Sherlock I got going in the annealer. Shaped kickstand. Oh. There's a little line markings from my roll I just did. Alright. So I just put on the slime blue. Got some, I think they call it aqua, the color I used in the center. And then I had the cobalt with the white dots. And then there's honeycomb in the lens, which I'll be able to show you better. Hello! After I stick it on. Kill this on my glove. And then I want to get this spot hot where I'm sticking it. I want to get this hot, but I don't want either of them to lose their shape, so I got to be careful. And I'm rolling this back and forth to keep it on center as well. Once each have the perfect heat, I'm going to stick them together in the flame. Push on a little bit further than I want, pull it up. That way you'll create a feel right from the start. That's the goal anyway. Little tap. And we got a kickstand. I have to. So I want to blast out the very top where that rod was attached, and I want to make my lens really nice and round again. Once that cools down a little bit, I'm going to see how it sits. You can see here, yes you can. It might sit a little too much on the side, so I can just heat up around the attachment and move it a little up or down if it's angled too much. Actually, I don't need to move it. That's pretty nice. I have to remember the mouthpiece is going to be put down, so I don't want to be like thinking it's like that. I got to remember where the mouthpiece is going to be later without a handle on it. So I'm just going to go around the edges, make sure there's no haziness, make sure everything's melted together completely. I got a really nice stick on that one. When I first started doing attachments like that, you could knock it off with like a tap. It's really not an easy skill. This will never come off. The pipe will break before this comes off. I want to pay attention when I'm doing this that I don't heat up too many spots around it that it's going to move again. And as I said that, it started moving again. That's funny. Stop moving. The feel is really nice. And when it starts moving again, you start getting hazy spots. So sometimes then you have to go back around. Yeah, buddy, you're hazy. Son of a bitch. Patience is the key. Glass blowing is a lot of hurry to fuck up and wait. Alright, I'm happy with that. So that's what we got so far. And this is going to be done in a bonus drawing. If you don't know what that is, keep your eye out for the reveal. And you'll see what the bonus drawing is. So back into the 1100 degree annealer. I'm going to do the same honeycomb kickstand on that red one, but you're gonna have to see what it looks like tomorrow. I appreciate everybody sticking around and watching. That was a pretty long one, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel free to comment with any questions. I'll put my website link up in the comments as well. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time.